What up though, y'all? It's Chris, broadcasting from the D. Out here this evening, I was getting myself some steps in, because you know we got to get them 10,000 steps in a day. And lo and behold, across my timeline comes the Anthony family, more stuff with them. This time it's the guy, Minister Dominique Alexander. You guys know the very shady voice for the family. Honestly, I don't know why this guy doesn't just resign in terms of speaking for them. I thought that they separated themselves from this clown because he really wasn't saying a whole lot when things came to light about his very questionable past and just stupid stuff he did, like trying to vilify Austin Metcalf's father when he came there to pray with them. Just a lot of goofy stuff. And he just couldn't accept accountability for that. He danced all around. People want to hear a grown-ass man take accountability instead of trying to like make it seem like you didn't really do anything and oh, he shouldn't have been there, whatever. I mean, some would say you shouldn't have been there. I mean, quite honestly, but let's see what Minister Dominique Alexander has to say. Stop spreading lies. And he's got emojis. He's got the red fire alarms or ambulance alarms around it. Let's set the record straight. The amount of wild and false information being spread across social media is completely out of control. He's got an X mark that says Karmelo did not submit a request for a court-appointed attorney. This is a flat-out lie. When a case is indicted in Collin County, the court system automatically generates an indigent defense form. This happens for everyone, regardless of whether they already have a private attorney. It's a standard system process. Now, that is not true, and I don't know why he's saying that. And this is the thing about having a swindler speak on behalf of your family, because he says silly stuff that's so easy to debunk. It took a quick Google search for me to find out on my own that that's not true. Attorney Mike Howard, and it's got the check mark. So I'm assuming he used some sort of AI to do this, because just the way it's worded, the way it's composed, all of the emojis, it just is a bit extra. I do not believe that this man composed this himself. But attorney Mike Howard remains in constant communication with the Collin County District Attorney's Office and is still actively on the case. That can change at any moment. Just because he is on the case today don't mean that he'll be on the case a month from now. We don't know who started this ridiculous rumor, but it's clear. Right-wing, quote, journalists, end quote, and social media influencers are intentionally spreading lies to confuse the public, create chaos, and attack this family. It's very easy to find YouTube videos and plenty of TikTok videos of black folks that's like, what is going on here? Where is the money? Forget even the whole public defender thing. Let's say that's not even a thing. Just the fact that y'all now want 1.4 million, that's already got people like, bro, what the hell? What did y'all do with the money? These false narratives are being used for clickbait, clout, and white supremacy agendas. Holy crap. He really went there? Unfortunately, when in doubt, play the race card. Unfortunately. Like, this is what guys like this do. When you have them backed into a corner and they can't fight back a legitimate way, they then try to play the race card, except in this case, it's not going to work. Black folks have become so used to playing the race card when nothing else works that it's now lost its effectiveness. So when you try to play that down, people just laugh, especially at this point when you have a large chunk rather, of black supporters now wanting to know what the hell is going on. So this, chalk it up as just all critics are just right-wing and racist. It's just silly. It says, please do not fall for it. This is not journalism. It's manipulation. And then it goes on to say, we are not litigating this case on social media. We are not responding to every video or post. We are not going to play into their trap. You don't want to litigate this in social media. It says that on the Give, Send, Go, and he's saying it again here, yet they keep jumping on social media to add more fuel to the fire. We continue to fight for justice, truth, and a fair trial for Karmelo Anthony. Don't let lies distract you from that. And it's got a fist, justice for Karmelo, another fist, people power, another fist, NGAN, I don't know what that is, and a stop sign emoji saying stop the lies. Okay, so that was very colorful, and I'm actually surprised that he left that up, and I'm gonna read to you why. So Sarah Fields has been following this, and here's what she had to say in response to that. False, this is not automatic. To request court-appointed counsel, the defendant needs to demonstrate to the court that they are indigent, and it says unable to afford legal representation in brackets. This typically involves completing and submitting a form detailing the individual's income, expenses, and property, as it's got in brackets, Karmelo Anthony's being the case. Just Karmelo Anthony's. So what I'm thinking here is that how they're able to prove to the court that they're broke is they go by Karmelo Anthony's income, which is zero. He's not working. They can't go by the GoFundMe because, or Give, Send, Go, whatever, because even that's not in his name. That's in somebody else's name. So they have to go by his income, and his income is zero. Because to my understanding, he wasn't working as a student, and he certainly didn't get a job after the fact, right? So there's that. These forms may be obtained from the local county's website, the Texas Indigent Defense Commission's website, or directly from the court. The defense must request it, submit paperwork, and the approval process begins. So yes, for now, Mike Howard is the defense as listed on this court documents. This will not stop him from moving to an assigned attorney later. Furthermore, because Karmelo Anthony was approved for indigent defense, I've recently become familiar with that word. So forgive me if I'm getting the pronunciation of that a little bit off. It's likely he will not receive a salaried public defender, but instead a private attorney who volunteered or will be appointed and will be paid by the court using taxpayer funds. Based on what she's saying here, it sounds like the attorney that they have, he could end up becoming his attorney that's being paid for with tax dollars. Imagine collecting $500,000, right? And then wanting the taxpayers to cover your son's defense. How are y'all so surprised that the court of public opinion is becoming so negative when it comes to you? See, you wouldn't have a problem with trying this in the court of public opinion if your image was more favorable, but because it's so negative right now, you're opposed. Furthermore, because Karmelo Anthony was approved for indigent defense, it's likely he will not receive a salaried public defender, but instead a private attorney who volunteered or will be appointed and will be paid by the county using taxpayer funds. It could actually be Mike Howard. So yeah, just like I said, it could end up happening to where, what are these fucking bugs, man? It could actually end up happening to where his current attorney can end up being still his attorney in the case, but instead of him having to pay or his family having to pay him, now the taxpayer is going to pay for the defense of a family that collected $500,000. Again, You do shit like this and you wonder why people don't really rock with y'all and really like how y'all moving. It's places like Collin County this kind of defense is common practice. Private attorneys can request payment either as a flat fee or hourly around $100 an hour in court and $75 an hour out of court with court approval. Don't mess with me. You're messing with the wrong journalist who actually understands how this works and does her research. Till next time, Dominique. So after she tore him to shreds in that response, I'm surprised he even left that post up, but he did. This whole situation, it just keeps getting worse. I talk about it because there keeps being updates. I wish there were less updates on this though, because I really wish these people would just shut up and just let the process run its course instead of every few days it's something with them. I have never seen a situation where someone was facing first-degree murder charges and they just did not know how to shut up, or the people around them just did not know how to shut up. But here we are. So I'm gonna leave it there though, y'all. Hit me with a like if you like what I do. Hit me with a sub if you like what I do, and hit me in them comments. I appreciate you guys for hanging out with me this long. This video went on longer than I was intended. But again, thank you guys for hanging out with me. I'll holler at y'all soon. Peace.